Hello everyone, this is Sinead, and I'm coming to you with Cozen, a bloody painter ex-reader by a poisonous lie. We're going to be starting off with chapter 27. Ryan. It sounds faint, a voice calling out to you, but your head kept trying to mute it out of your system. Where were you? Probably your mind trying to keep you out of the real world, but that person kept calling out your name. Ryan. You gasped and looked around frantically. You look in front of you only to see your mother with worry and tears in her eyes. Oh my god, Ryan, are you alright? She cupped your cheeks with both hands as she looked at you in the eyes, looking for a sign of hurt. It took you a moment to process everything that has happened, and tears threatened to come out of your eyes. You weren't sure how to react, and all you could do was hug your mother, sinking comfort from her embrace. She returned the hug as she rubbed your back with her hand. You slowly looked behind you, realizing where you were. You were outside the school campus. Red and blue lights flashing everywhere, police cars everywhere, and cops pushing everyone out of the scene. Reporters and their cameramen coming in to rush to get the smallest detail of the crime scene, pushing everyone out of the way to quench their thirst for news. Your eyes slowly drifted to a boy who was also comforted by his parents' brown hair. It was Aiden. You started to remember when the teachers pulled the two of you apart as they walked far away from the body, and after that, everything turned into a blur. Aiden was still in shock, dry tears on his face as he stared into space with eyes that did not dare to blink, as a few droplets of dry blood were on his cheek. The mother was deadly worried, trying to get him out of that state as she moved around him, trying to get a reaction out of him, or to at least say a word, but nothing. There was a police car in particular that made its way in front of the school's gate, and that's where you see two cops taking a kid with handcuffs, and that was none other than Helen. Your body automatically went into shock and sprinted towards him, ignoring your mother's calls. Helen! Helen! You yelled at his name, only for a student to stop you, grabbing you by the arms. Helen looked just as shocked just like Aiden was, zoning out. Please let me go, I needed to go talk to him. You turned around only to see Annie holding you back with tears in her eyes. Ryan, please stop, they're taking him away for questioning. Annie tries to calm you down. You slowly give up as you watched Helen getting taken away, him ignoring you quickly as he got in the car. You turned to her, confused as to why they were taking him away. How was he even involved in the murder of that student? An hour has passed after your mother took you home. The cops asked your mother if you could write a statement for the situation, or at least talk about what you witnessed, and other than that, they let you go home. Aiden was also asked by the police for the same reason, but the parents refused as he was still in a state of shock, which cops understood and left them alone. Your mother offered you food, anything to distract you, but it didn't help at all. You decided to go to bed and to sleep to see if that would help you, but you just laid there staring at the ceiling for another good hour. You couldn't sleep, you couldn't distract yourself with anything else other than the thought that Helen might have killed someone. 2 days passed and you finally decided to go to school. You were allowed to stay at home by your mother just so you wouldn't be asked questions. After all, after you turned on the television in the morning, news was the first thing on the channel, and the topic of the two kids on the rooftop was getting talked about. Newspapers, too, in the front page, like it was a big thing. It bothered you. It bothered you even more finding out who the victim was, seeing the familiar white hoodie from Tom completely drenched in blood, his head unrecognizable, as it was the first thing to have contact with on the hard ground. The pictures of Tom's rimmed glasses were shown in the picture with the flashes of red and blue lights blending in the background. It was a horrible thing to see. You finally arrived at school. Eyes were quickly felt on you, some of surprise, disgust, or even sadness. Why the disgust? You finally arrived at your first period class, seeing the class empty. Helen's usual seat empty too. You were pretty much the first person to be in the classroom. There you are. I was wondering where you went. A voice joins in, echoing in the empty classroom. You quickly turned around and see Ben closing the door behind him, two more friends joining before closing. And you stayed quiet. You didn't want to say anything as you were tired for not sleeping for 2 days straight. I'm sure you heard the news that your friend, Helen, is a whole murderer now? He asks, a small smirk appearing on his face. I'm sure that's not what happened, you respond back, trying to justify the fact that he was no murderer. You knew Helen. You knew he wouldn't be capable of killing someone. Van didn't like the response as his eyebrows furrowed to show an annoyed expression. You're still trying to defend him? You're so pathetic, he says as he quickly walks up to you, pushing you, making you stumble and crash against the seat behind you. As he looked down at you, his eyes moved towards something else, his hands quickly making its way to your necklace, yanking it off your neck. Your eyes widened, trying to get it back, only for his friends to stop you and hold you back from fighting him. His smile grew when he finally saw your reaction. Does this mean something to you? He asks in a taunting manner. Please stop, Ben, please. Your words are interrupted as he throws it aggressively on the floor, stomping on the necklace a good amount of times, crushing it into tiny pieces. Helen would be better off dead, Ben says, not leaving without punching you in the face and his stomach a good amount of times, leaving you on the floor as they leave, hearing a few snickers from his friends. Is this how your year is going to end? Chapter 28. Hey, Ryan, did Helen ever have murder tendencies when you talked to him? A random classmate walked up to you, asking you a dumb question on purpose, holding back a smile as she innocently leaned on your desk. You didn't answer. You had an ice bag to your cheek right where a band hit you on your first period. You headed to the infirmary as soon as they left you alone. Giving her silence as an answer bothered her. She only rolled her eyes and walked away. You only sighed in relief, getting a bit of peace for being alone for a few seconds. You haven't seen Aiden nor Helen in school. Of course, you understood why. You wondered why you were still here. It felt like eyes were on you all the time after the incident, and they knew you were with Helen and defended him all the time. They never really paid you many mind until that happened. In the cafeteria, after getting your food, you tried to walk with tray in hand only for someone to make you trip. Luckily, you didn't fall, but your whole tray of food fell to the floor, splattering all over your shoes. You just sighed and looked at the person who did it, only to see one of Band's friends. "Hey, Ryan, did Helen ever give you dead squirrels as gifts?" he asks. But you probably didn't say anything because you liked him that much. He smiled in a taunting way. You only stared at him for a few seconds. In return, you only gave him silence on your back as an answer. You didn't bother to respond and decided to walk away. That didn't satisfy him, though. He quickly puts his arms around you and tries to get closer to your face. "Don't you dare walk away like that. It won't work on me, you hear me?" He forcefully drags you outside the cafeteria, grabbing you by the shoulders tightly since his arm was wrapped around you. "Let go of me," you finally fought back. He finally got a reaction out of you after he dug his nails into your skin. It made you wince in pain. You quickly punch him in the face, trying to at least defend yourself, and he quickly tried to tackle you. But you backed away as fast as possible and ran out of the cafeteria to not cause any trouble. You finally ran out of the cafeteria of the whole school, actually. You didn't dare to go back. Instead, you arrived at the park where you would spend your time with Helen. You sat on one of the benches, taking a deep breath in, your emotions finally surging up and letting the tears flow from your eyes. Your sobs are slightly audible. You weren't sure how you were going to manage this year. You were only in middle school, 7th grade. You were just a kid who wanted to make friends, and now you were here. You quickly wipe your tears as you see a couple pass by, trying to hide the fact that you were crying, but your puffy eyes would expose you. You quickly pause when you realize how close you were to Helen's house, probably 5 minutes away. You quickly get up from the bench and make a run for it to his house. Minutes pass, and you make a quick stop trying to catch your breath as you finally arrive to his neighborhood. You walk towards the door, knocking on it hard enough for his parents to hear. It took a minute, but someone finally answered, your eyes with hope when you saw the boy you wanted to see so badly. He looked way more pale. He looked like he hasn't slept at all and just looked horrible in general. Tears were coming out of your eyes again, your lips parting just to call out his name. "Helen?" Your voice was shaky. Your lips quivered when you called out his name. You hugged Helen tightly, your hand holding the back of his head, feeling his soft yet tangled hair, the soft fabric of his clothing, yet didn't smell anything, but still the warmth was enough to give some comfort. Your tears were wetting his black shirt, but you really just wanted him close. As much as you hugged him, you didn't sense a response of him hugging you back. He was just standing still. You slowly let go to look at him in the eyes. He looked so tired. His eyes were so empty and red from crying so much it took him a bit to realize who he was seeing. He looked at you more in detail, only for his face to show shock. His hands quickly making its way to your face, his thumb carefully caressing the bruise on your cheek. "Ryan," he muttered your name. He never realized how long you two were standing in the entrance of his home, but once he noticed, he quickly dragged you inside and sat you down on the sofa. He kept checking your face, so many mixed emotions, but you quickly grabbed his hand while he still had it on your face. He didn't let go and tried to talk to him. "Helen, I was worried about you," you say, trying to make him snap out of whatever trance he was in. He didn't pay attention and decided to say something else. "Who did this to you?" he asked softly, a hint of anger going through that question. "Helen, listen, You didn't want to make him worried about you, but he didn't even bother to listen to what you were going to say, only for him to head straight to the kitchen and quickly come back with an ice pack and a small pack of medical aid. He sat down trying to check on your bruise. "This is my fault," Helen says. "You got hurt because of me, didn't you?" He asks as he treated your bruise and a few cuts from your hands. "Answer me, Ryan. Who did this to you?" he asks once again. "Helen, this isn't your fault. It doesn't matter who did this to me. Just please." The way his hands were carefully placed on your head were suddenly grabbing you aggressively. You flinched as you noticed his eyes changing into a different kind, the same look when he was mad. The familiar look he gave to Ban last time. You try to make him let go of you, only for his grip to get stronger around your head. "Helen, you're hurting me." You went digging your nails in his skin. "You better answer my question. Did Aiden do this to you? Did Ban do it?" His voice became louder, quickly pinning you down to the sofa, hands still gripping your head as his thumb digged deeper into your bruise, hurting you badly as his other hand tried to grab you by the throat. "Please stop, you're hurting me." You knee in between his legs, only for him to quickly get off of you and fall down to the floor. You sat up on the sofa trying to catch your breath and calm down, and Helen only looked at you as he breathed heavily, trying to calm himself down from the pain. You were scared of what he was become now. This was not the Helen you knew at all. Why, and I'm going to ask you to get out. I don't want to hurt you again. I don't want anyone to hurt you because of me. He was still on the floor as he said that, not making eye contact with you, but it sounded like he was holding back tears. Please, go away, get out of my life. He suddenly gets up, making eye contact with you again. No, don't say that, please. You try to walk towards him again, only for him to physically push you away. Leave, I don't want you near me. He shouts, grabbing you harshly by your shoulders, pushing you back outside of his house. He slammed the door in your face, and after that, only silence filled your whole environment. Still shocked at what had happened. That is the end of that chapter. The chapter after that one is chapter 29. Let me know how you guys felt about that, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.